Oh my. That is a toaster defense. Web with leaderboards. There's frickin' leaderboards? How do you have all these time? In the not so far away land of baked goods, a war has arisen. Let's go with the web with leaderboards for the heck of it. The Toast Kingdom is hogging the toaster of life, and the Kingdom of Toaster Tarts is demanding it for themselves. Your mission, play as a toaster of life. Excuse me, and destroy as many toaster tarts as you can for the highest score. This game was made using Stencil. My golly. In 48 hours for Ludum 32, as Compo would imply. There are a lot of things that could be improved, and believe me, I'm going to improve them, but I think there is good enough time for 48 hours. Yeah, I was going to mention that there was a member of our team who actually made a game out of Stencil, and his game is called Adaptation, by the way. I highly recommend it. Check it out. It's actually pretty cool. And I remember him complaining that it was not fun to use, but oh well. That's what I've heard. Just what I heard. Anyways, controls. Mouse to aim. Hold mouse button to load. Hold mouse button to load. Okay. Hold mouse button to load. Release mouse button to fire. R to restart. P to pause. M to switch menu. Alright, let's go for it. Let's activate flash. Allow now. Oh, no ads. Yay. Oh, I see. Sure. Okay, I like that the controls are pretty much... Okay, you can burn out. I wonder what happens if I bop him on the head. Oh, it doesn't bounce, as the screenshot seems to imply. Sound effects, please. Sound effects are hugely important. They really increase the experience by a significant amount. I actually like that you have a wave system because it gives a very clear sense of progression, so that's a good job on your end. I thought it would be kind of cool if using kind of like a physics system, it would be those toasters that you shot out bounced. But that's just me. I kind of want there to be like a combo system. Yeah, what happens if I just like, push them back? Yeah. Okay, that didn't work. See, I don't see a really good point of, hitting the guys in the back. Actually, now that I think of it... Oh, okay. That can happen. I forgot about that. Yeah, there's no point in doing that. Darn. I thought that would be so much fun to be able to do those kind of random things. Yee! Yoink. Darn it! All my experimentation is causing me trouble! The curiosity has killed the cat! Or toaster in this case. Wait, you can slide? Oh, you can! Oh, then this is for chumps. I just have to load it all the way to the max. Yo. I don't feel like there's much of a strategy here. As mentioned earlier, if you had sort of a bouncing mechanic to it where each, the toaster had multiple bounces off of these tarts, I thought that would be really cool because it would give a sort of a combo system and give you a sort of a risk-rewards line of thinking. As of right now, the only risk-reward I see is holding down and making sure you don't burn out. And already I'm like finding the optimal strategy, which is just kind of aim to the ground and keep shooting. I like the fire effect, that's pretty cool. So definitely add more sound effects here. The music is nice, but that's about the only thing that's going for it. Well, you're giving me a ton of score, that's for one. Oh yeah, speaking of score, because most players don't keep track of it, it's always a good idea to have the scores appear right where your eyes will be focusing, which in this case would be at the enemies. I'm not even focusing on the health bar of the toaster, which is fine because you start noticing it as soon as these guys start actually piling up on you. So I think that as a UI element is effective, but if you want them to kind of pay attention to their score with leaderboards and everything that you had implemented there, then you're going to want to let them know how much they scored for killing each of these enemies. Yeah, because the complexity of the strategy is minimal, I'm not really feeling all that much satisfaction from playing this game. And it's kind of hard to tell how much I'm getting hurt until like at the last minute. Is it any faster to actually shoot that direction? Sort of. Oh. Okay, I survived that one. Aww. Awesome. New high score. How does that work? I am... ETHproduction at the top. And I'm here at 905. Oh, okay, I made 4th place somehow. Interesting. Alright, well then. The concept is simple, easy to play. I think it's too simple. And too easy to play. In the sense that there doesn't seem to be a complexity in the amount of strategies that you can take to really take these toasters out. So as an example, you have this screenshot where a toaster bounces off of something else. I thought that was really cool. If there was, or at least I thought this was a toaster bouncing off of something else. It looks like it's just going off in a circular trajectory. So ultimately then it's just become a question of whether you can actually hit the enemies correctly or not. And at that point, the optimal strategy is to just kind of hit the enemy that's in front and then call it a day. So it just didn't feel like a complex game. There wasn't a way to hit multiple enemies at once. There wasn't a strategy behind a lot of the shooting. It's just more of a timing issue where you're just making sure that you're shooting at the maximum power possible. So that's my feeling about it. Still, I think it's a solid effort. I mean, as mentioned earlier, I have heard that working with stencil can sometimes be an absolute nightmare. So obviously you were able to create something that felt very solid and sturdy to work off of. And there's also the fact that you made this in compo by yourself, so I'm really impressed with all the artwork and all the effort that you're able to put together. It's really, really cool that you're able to do that. I do see a lot of promise in the work that you've created. I don't specifically see a lot of potential for this specific game because there isn't enough depth to it for me to see beyond what I've already seen, which is you shoot, you make sure that you got the timing of the shooting correct, and that's about it. So, still, good job. Job well done. Let's go with the theme first. It's a toaster. It's a weapon. Gotta go with it. I'm gonna rank low on the innovation. It's honestly just wait and shoot kind of thing. I actually think it was kind of average on the fun. So at least that's not exactly a bad thing. The graphics was average on my opinion. It's serviceable. The audio was, in my opinion, below average. There needs to be sound effects to kind of add in more satisfaction to that. I'm going to give you 2 stars because I actually like the background music. So yeah, there's that. The humor, 2 stars. The mood, average-ish. And overall, I feel like it was painfully average. It was painfully average, not because it lacked polish, not because it lacked. Well, I do think it lacked a little polish, but I don't think any amount of polish would have kind of saved this game specifically in the current implementation that it is. My main concern is that there was very little behind the game strategy. It was a very shallow experience, and it was, as far as I can see, there doesn't seem to be, or the way it's implemented right now, there doesn't seem to be a way to have this really fun tug of war between risk versus reward. So ultimately, I thought it was easy to quickly find the optimal strategy and just go on with that. So ultimately, I just didn't think that it was. Ultimately, I don't think the game could have been improved better in its current form. I do think that it can be improved. By the way, I've mentioned earlier aspects such as maybe you can shoot multiple toasters at once, or maybe the toaster bounces off of other tarts. And depending on how long you hold it, the longer it bounces off of them, or something like that. Any way to kind of make the player feel like, oh, I can hit multiple enemies at once, or like, oh, this weapon is a lot more powerful. So anything to kind of really make them experiment with and try to come up with a new, different kind of strategy to kind of find their own unique way of playing through the game I think would have been great. Either enemy, but baddies comes in multiple direction, or give them time when they're more vulnerable. Something to it. Yeah, I do agree with those explanations as well. So, yeah. Pretty neat game, especially for one made by oneself in 48 hours. I do think the game is too simple to be enjoyable. Some abilities to either combo or power up your attacks would be nice. Additionally, to respond to those improvements, different enemy types would be cool as well. Ultimately, it felt like a tower defense game without any upgrades whatsoever, or any ability to buy more troops for that matter. Felt a bit like a tower defense game without any upgrades. Cool, cool, cool.